Hey, it's Lee with the Turquoise Valentine, and today I'm going to take some little mini ornaments from Walmart and use some Jenga blocks and paint and little embellishments to make some cute ornaments for your tree. So I'm going to start with taking the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take 4, and I'm going to hot glue those together to make my little surface. And I'd use Gorilla Hot Glue. You can use any hot glue. I just like the Gorilla Glue. It seems to hold real well. So I'm just going to glue those together. Kind of wipe off that excess glue. And then after that, I'm going to take them, and this one I'm going to paint black with just some regular apple barrel black paint. You can paint them any color you want. This is just the color I chose for this one. I'm going to paint that black, and I'm going to dry it a little bit. And then I'm going to take my sanding sponge, and I'm just going to kind of rough up the edges just to give it that rough vintage look. I want to let the wood show through the black paint. So my little sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree, I'm just going to rough that up some. Just be sure to get the edges good, just how you like it. You don't even have to sand it. I just chose to do mine. Just gives it a little extra something something. And then I'm going to take one of the ornaments from the from Walmart actually, and I'm going to heat up that bow right there and pull it off, and it just lets that hot glue that's holding the bow down, it lets that loose so you can get the bow off. So I'm just heating up the rest of that glue, and it'll just rub right off. And you can just rub till it comes off, and keep heating it up, and it'll come loose. And then I'm going to cut that string right there. So cut the string. Then I'm going to glue it to the Jenga blocks that I painted and sanded. Just like that. And then I'm going to work on the little hanger we're going to hang the ornament with. I'm going to use some beads that I have bought from Amazon. And they come in a little box like this, and they're all different sizes. And I'm going to take some string and put some hot glue on the end of my string. And this string is from Dollar Tree also. And that's going to make it easier to feed the little beads onto my string because these beads are small. And just use however many, and you can use whatever kind of hanger you want. You can use a ribbon, you can do beads like I'm doing, or use any other kind of beads. And just however many you like that looks good to you. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to glue down the string on one side. Like that. And I'm going to push my beads to the ornament, and then I'm going to cut the string right here, and I'm going to glue down the other side. So my beads are good and tight. And then I'm going to take a piece of ribbon just to make the back a little prettier. I'm just going to take a piece of ribbon and cut it to fit, and just glue it across the back of the strings, and that reinforces it as well as makes it look a little more appealing. Just like that. Now we're going to embellish the top of the tag. You can use the bow that came on it and glue it right over the hole. Or I'm just taking some little Christmas branches from Dollar Tree and just cut some pieces off, and I'm going to glue them right there over the hole. Just some little extra pieces I had left over from something else that I did. And same here, I'm going to take some berries off of another pick that I have, and then I'm going to glue that right on the center. Just like so, just to give it a little pop of red. And there's our first little ornament. Isn't it cute? So I'm going to do the same thing the next ornament we're going to do. Same thing, tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to glue 4 of those together like I did starting the other one. And I'm going to paint this one black as well. I wish I could paint that fast in real life. Speed painting. Then I'll dry it a little bit. And I didn't paint the other side because we're going to use scrapbook paper on this one. I'm going to use a scrap piece that I have in my stash. I like to keep the pieces from other projects to use for stuff just like this. So I'm getting it lined up with my lines on my buffalo check, and I'm tracing it on the front side so I can make sure I kind of got it pretty even and straight with the lines on the buffalo check. So I'm just going to cut that out. Make sure it fits, and then I'm just going to get some Mod Podge, and I'm going to Mod Podge it right onto my Jenga blocks. Just a little thin coat, not much. Put your paper right on top, smooth it all down. And I have paper hanging over the edge, and we're going to take care of that with my sanding block. So just smooth out your paper really good. And now take my sanding block, and you're going to sand in a downward motion. You're not going to sand back and forth, just down strokes. And that's just going to tear that paper right off and make it a clean edge. So then I'm going to take my next little mini ornament from that pack of 6, and I'm going to cut the string off. And I'm going to do the same thing this time. I'm going to heat up that little bow with my heat gun and get rid of that glue like I did before. If you just keep getting it a little bit warm and rubbing it off, it'll all come off. And I'm going to hot glue that ornament down like we did on the first one. And I'm going to take the bow that came off of it and actually glue it right back on there on top of that hole. Look how cute it looks already. And on this one, I'm just going to take ribbon and I'm going to glue it to the back and loop it around and glue the other end down. Look how cute. Easy and fun and quick. Now we're going to start with the next one. 4 tumbling tower blocks again. There's just so many things you can do with the tumbling tower blocks and these mini ornaments, and just let your imagination run wild and just do all kinds of stuff. You can come up with all kinds of cute little creations. This one we're going to paint red. This color is Tomato Red by Anita's, and I get it at Hobby Lobby. It's my favorite color of red. It's bright, but it's not too bright. Speed painting again. Now get that painted, and I'm going to dry it. Oh, missed a spot. Got to get that. Then I'm going to take scrapbook paper, and I really didn't have to paint the front side, but I kind of don't think I really knew what I was going to do with this one, and I didn't have to paint the front red. I could have just left it plain like we did on the last ornament we did. But anyway, so it's red under there. Put my Mod Podge down, then I'm going to put my paper back on top. We're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to sand in downward motions just to get the paper off, and that just makes a clean edge. So now I'm going to take my next little ornament and heat up the glue again and get the bow off. Heat it up some more. Just keep rubbing off that glue and it will all come off. And that one says, Dear Santa, I can explain. So that's kind of why I went with the red on this one. And I love the peppermint stripe. And there again, I'm using some little branches from a piece I had left over. Just cut some little pieces and just glue them down to cover up that hole. And I'm going to take some more red berries off another pick I had and kind of trim them and cut them how I want them to be. And then just Push that down in my glue and get it all like I want it. Just like that. Same thing, I'm going to take ribbon and glue to the back and loop it around and trim it off, and you're just going to glue it down like I did on the last one. Easy peasy. And it's not heavy, so it'll hold, that ribbon and the glue will hold it up just fine. Now we're going to go on to the next one. So we're going to glue 4 more again together. So anytime you see the tumbling tower blocks in Dollar Tree, you definitely need to pick them up because you can do so much with these any time of the year. So we're going to go with black again. And I'm going to dry it again. Love my heat tool. I don't know how I ever crafted without one. Just makes it, speeds up the process because I'm impatient. I want to finish it. I can't wait for it to dry. So this one, I'm going to take a little bit of white paint, just regular white craft paint, any kind's fine. And I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to kind of lightly brush down. I'm going to start dry brushing. I barely have any paint on my brush. And I'm just making downward strokes all the way around the edge because we're going to put that little ornament in the middle. So I kind of wanted to give it a sort of a snowy effect. So I'm just dry brushing kind of all the edges and doing the back because you might see the back, but I wanted it to look finished. Just kind of give it a little heat there to dry. Now I'm just going back over it where some of it's darker than others, trying to get it all to look even. And we're going to take our next little ornament, cut the string, heat up the, and this one, the string and the bow were glued together. And I'm going to heat it up again with my tool and just kind of pull that bow off, pull the string out. And then I'm going to glue the bow right back down over the hole. See, this one says let it snow. So I kind of wanted that snowy look. Now we're going to take another piece of ribbon like we've done on the other 3. And just loop it around, glue it on the back, loop it around. Easy peasy. Look how cute it is. So now look at all the cute ornaments we created with a $1.98 set of mini ornaments and Jenga blocks and some embellishments from Dollar Tree. Look how adorable this is. I hope you give this a try. They just turn out so cute. Just a way to dress them up and make them look a little bit more fancy. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.